So, you in the audience got to meet I'm Miss Ashley, but those who are on live stream, I'm Miss Ashley with Hills Incorporated. I am the OCC Campus Manager, and today I'm going to be teaching you all about healthy relationships. And guess what's coming up? Valentine's Day, whoop whoop. So that's coming up, but that kind of corresponds with healthy relationships in general. So let's talk about self-esteem for a minute. And you're probably like, what in the world, how does self-esteem go with, how does it go with healthy relationships? So it deals a lot with healthy relationships because you have to have confidence in yourself. Okay, so that's one key. And so when you are thinking about self-esteem, what do you think about? What comes to mind when it comes to for self-esteem? Being confident. That's one thing. Confident is key. What else for self-esteem? Being bold, maybe. Being bold in your actions. Forthright. So you're going to get it. Not going, oh no, I'm scared. No, I'm doing this. I'm going to make it happen. Even if you might not, you might go, I might not know how to do it, you're going to figure out a way how to make it happen. So like, it's okay, I'm not going to do it. You're not going to shy away from it. You're just going to do it. So I'll tell you the definition, and confidence isn't it. So confidence in one's own worth, having worth, self-worth, or in your ability. So knowing that if I'm doing gymnastics, no, I got this. I'm going to do my cardio right. I'm going to do my back handstand. Instead of like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. Okay? And having self-respect. So respecting yourself. Respecting yourself. And so there are 3 different types of self-esteem. So you have inflated, and you're probably like 3 different types of self-esteem. So inflated is basically, how do I say it? Use the word, I'm confident. Like, I know I got this, I'm better than you type of attitude. And then you have high self-esteem. You set yourself, you have values, you go with your morals, and then you have low self-esteem. You're kind of like, man, I'm not worth this. You have a lack of confidence. And so we want you all to be at which one? Inflated, high, right? We want you all to have that confidence, but not too much like, oh yeah, I got this, you know? It's okay to ask for help, right? But it's like you have confidence in yourself, you know what you want. You know what you want, and you're gonna make it happen. So I'm gonna do a little icebreaker. And so on your table, or if you're at home watching this, you can make a hand, get a piece of paper and draw your hand. But this says, I love me because. So in each finger, you gotta name what you love about yourself. Okay? So what do you love about yourself? For me, yeah, I can start, you can begin. So for me, I love me because I think I'm kind. I think I'm kind to others. I think I'm loving. I think I love others and others love me. Being positive. That's one thing I love about myself is being positive. Being humble. That's why I put being humble. That's what I love about me. And being dedicated. Being dedicated to whatever I do. So if it's work or church or anything, I'm going to dedicate myself to that. And so you can write whatever you think you love about yourself. So let you all do that. And so also you can make it colorful, you can make it black and white, whatever you want to do, you can do that first. Whatever you love about yourself. And so hopefully we get some of you to share what you love about yourself. It can be one thing if you want to. So. And also you can go in your appearance maybe. I love you because I love my smile. I'm not sure. Or you can do a sentence. I love you because I always hold the door open for someone. Or I always give up my chair to someone that needs it more than I do when I'm sitting somewhere. So you go anything. So make it your own, make it unique. Okay? So I'm going to hang mine up. While you all are doing this, would anyone like to share one thing right now that makes you that you love about yourself, maybe? Okay.
I am very passionate, sometimes almost to a fault. I've always liked talking about feminism and comment, even though comment is very conservative, but that's always been something I'm very passionate about.
That's awesome, so passionate. And I would say being passionate about something goes a long, long way. Being passionate goes a long way. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So passionate. And there's different things as well. So our mission at Girls Inc. is to inspire our girls to be strong, time road. And so some might be like, I love you because I am both. So, or I love you because I'm smart, or I love you because I'm strong. So there are different things you can do as well. We talk about self-esteem. I love you because I'm confident. Or I am outspoken, or I'm outgoing. There's different things. How's it going for you all over there? Good, awesome. So like I said, if you're at home, you can definitely do this. Just get a piece of paper, a pencil or pen, some crayons if you want to be colorful. Put your hand on there, or say you have a left hand on there, so your left hand, and put some words that you love about yourself in these fingers, okay? So, look at your own. So, I'm going to move on from this. So, I hope you all got some good stuff. I'm sure you all got some good stuff. So, this is awesome. And like I said, thank you for sharing that you are passionate. That is awesome. And so, you all are probably thinking, what does self-esteem and relationships have to do with each other? Like, how do they connect? And so, sometimes when you have low self-esteem, you let people run at you. Not like literally, you let people, might say mercy, and you let that get you like really down. And sometimes it can get you so down. Some people become depressed or different things like that. Or you have a hard time saying no to people. It might be yes, and sometimes you have to go like, no, I can't. Or it can lead to peer pressure. Sometimes when you have low self-esteem because you want people to love you. But when you have that confidence, you're like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going to stay away and do this. Or no, I am my own person. I'm going to stand up for myself. So, those do connect in different ways, okay? How do you think your self-esteem affect others? How can it affect others? Not sure.
I think if you have high self-esteem, people are more likely to want to be around you.
Yes, you're correct. People want to be around you more. You can bring a sense of light to others, brighten other people's personalities. So if someone is feeling down or somebody with low self-esteem is around you, you can bring them up to have more confidence, just like you. So you can brighten somebody's day or week or build that bond, that relationship that is cohesive with somebody else's. So enhance their self-esteem. So kind of be like a role model type of figure in a sense, okay? And so I'm going to give you some scenarios, okay? So with these scenarios or these examples, I want you to consider self-esteem, okay? So think about in your head self-esteem. And bring this, so if I say something, will it increase someone's self-esteem or will it decrease? So on this side you have increase, and this side you have decrease, okay? So, number one, Mary worked really hard on her English essay. When her grade essay was returned, she was excited to see that she earned a 94%. Mary was very proud of her grade, since she had worked so hard. Caroline started laughing and said, "So who did you get to write that for you? You suck at writing." How do you think Caroline's words affected Mary in that situation? Did it increase her self-esteem? Yes. Huh? Decrease. Yes. Why would it decrease her self-esteem? Yes. So Caroline had a very negative attitude toward Mary, right? And so Mary's probably like, wow, she probably thinks I'm not smart. And since she thinks I'm not smart, I don't feel smart anymore. And sometimes it can take somebody's confidence down or self-esteem down so much they're like, well, whatever, people think I'm not smart anymore, so why even try? And sometimes just that one situation is not just going to decrease it tremendously, but if it's constant, over and over and over, that can really change somebody's attitude and she can start making bad grades in school, right? But if Mary does have a high self-esteem, she can say something to her. Well, hey, that was nice. I don't talk about your grades, so why talk about mine? And so that's kind of like a high self-esteem type of person. There's someone with low self-esteem, so if Mary had low self-esteem, she would, in a sense, be like, okay, that was nice. You know, that was nice. Another one. Alright, Brian and Cal are on the baseball team. Brian has not gotten a hit in the last 4 games. Before the game, he confirms to Cal that he doesn't want to play tonight because he doesn't think he will get a hit. Cal slaps him on the back and says, "Hey man, we all have a few off games. Don't get down on yourself." Did Cal's words and actions help or hurt Brian's self-esteem? Did it increase or decrease his self-esteem? Increase. So what do you think increase?
It's not good because he's encouraging his friend.
Yes. So he gave some encouraging words. Yes. Very, very, very encouraging words. Okay? So there's kind of like 2 scenarios of increasing someone's self-esteem and decreasing someone's self-esteem. So next we're going to move to boundaries, okay? So let's move to boundaries. So I'm going to read this to you all. We have an idea of what self-esteem is and how it can be influenced by others. Now we're going to talk about boundaries, okay? When you hear the word boundary, you may think of a wall or divider that clearly defines and separates 2 things. However, with people, it isn't always easy to have clearly defined boundaries. Boundaries between people are not just physical boundaries, okay? So there's different types of boundaries. There's physical boundaries, so someone getting in personal space. And sometimes people might make moves. If somebody's in my personal space, I'm like, oh, hold up. I need you to back up just a little bit. So everybody is different. Then you have emotional boundaries. Sometimes you might have someone that just wants to spill all their emotions out. And you're like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with them telling me everything. But that's not just kind of coming out line like, hey, thank you for sharing that with me, that was a little too much for me, right? So letting them know. And then you have moral boundaries between what is right and wrong, okay? So there's different types of boundaries. And so, of course, when you have these boundaries, you think of what? Relationships, right? So relationships, so physical, emotional, and moral, okay? And then you have something called a balance of power, okay? And you probably like, what is that? What is balance of power? And so balance of power is basically, when you have these boundaries, it's between someone being controlling and someone not being controlling. So balancing that. So if I'm Brooklyn's friend, I'm like, hey, yeah, what am I doing right now? Being what? Controlling. But if I'm like talking to Brooklyn and saying like, hey Brooklyn, will you help me get that? That's not controlling. So it's balancing the power and it's the way basically how you talk to people. So in relationships, if I'm like, hey Brooklyn, go with that for me. First of all, I'm controlling, right? I step over those boundaries, the emotional boundaries, and I'm making her self-esteem go low. So these all connect to each other, okay? So her self-esteem probably went low because I'm controlling and I was not honest. Okay? And so, can any of y'all think of maybe someone not balancing that power, someone not being controlled? Can you think of a situation maybe? It doesn't have to happen to you, that's happened to you, but any situation that someone is not controlling, for example, maybe?
A situation where someone is not controlling.
So I know I just gave an example. Hey, you go look that up for me quickly.
My friends and I, we generally, I guess among us, we don't really ask for favors as much. We wait for someone else to offer. Like, if we need a favor, rather than asking for it directly, we'll wait for the other person to offer it.
That is good. So like, hey, Sarah, you're going to like, pick up my dog. Right? Is that what you're talking about? And then you might
just be talking about, like, they need someone to pick up their dog, and then you offer to do it.
no, you want to pick your dog. You know, so that makes sense. So having that good relationship, right? And sometimes as well, think about relationships. Some people think about like boyfriend and girlfriend, you know, that type of thing, or whatever, like relationships. But in a sense, you have what? Friendship relationships, family relationships. And sometimes you have to have that fine line between like, what is right and what's wrong. And then also you got to think about, I'm not just gonna walk up to stranger and be like, hey, what you doing tonight? Right? If I don't really know her, I'm not like, hey, what you doing tonight? Or why are you doing this? Because she doesn't know me. But if we were best friends and I said this to her, she'd go, oh, girls, whatever, and she would talk to me. So those boundaries, you gotta know who you're talking to. I'm not gonna be like, Miss Sarah, go get me. You know, the friend, you might like, hey, go get me, your friend might not have you, right? Because you might have that line between friend relationships and stranger relationships or family relationships or different things like that. So you have that. Okay? So we talked about control, right? Controlling and not controlling. Okay. So I'm going to give you all some words that can fall in the category of controlling. And so you have the number one thing for you all in relationships, like friendship relationships. What is part of you since you're a teen? What's part of the number one thing? Peer pressure, right? Peer pressure is part of the number one things. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate when it comes to peer pressure. It can be like, hey, I'm drinking the soda. She has some tea. Or, hey, like I'm eating this ice cream. She has some tea. And Shayla doesn't want the ice cream. She doesn't have to eat ice cream. But just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean, like, you have to do it, right? But sometimes your friend might, you know, say something to you that's like harsh, and you're like, I feel that, so you want to do it, you know, you don't have to, okay? And that's what kind of relationship, like a troubled relationship, or that might start rumors about you, and that's a sense of what control, okay? Threats. You have threats in some relationships, and sometimes you're like, hold up, was that a threat? Or were they just playing, okay? But sometimes when it becomes constant, and you can kind of tell the difference, like, oh, my friend or person is really controlling me. Like, he's like, they're kind of laughing about it, but no, this is becoming serious, you know, at the end of the day, okay? So kind of putting fear in you, know, that type of thing. And sometimes fear can be just like slight. And it depends on everybody's self-esteem or how that person is. So, for example, if you want to be with anybody, or I don't know if that's popular kids, but hang out with your friends and different, like, if you don't drive me here, you can't hang out with us. You know, honestly, that's a threat, but that might be like that. But to you, that might be something very serious, right? Because you want to hang out with your friends. So you think about that. But don't let nobody do that to you, right? And so that's a controlling type of relationship, because they're like, oh, if I say you can't do this or you can't do that, and they're trying to get something in return, right? Then they have control over you, because they're like, she can drive me anywhere, or she'll buy me candy all the time if I say she can't do this. That's how. Do you have intimidation, so like bullying or using gestures or links that hurt fear? Okay. Then you can use social status, so that requires certain action. So if you think about social status, you think about, what do you think about when you think of social status? Popular? Yeah, I use that word popular. Yeah. And that's what I think about, like, when you're a teen, I think of popular. Like, oh man, I want to hang out with the popular kids. Or I want to hang out with the, I don't know, what it is. The basketball kids, or the volleyball kids, or the kids that just do in the back of the room. I don't know, in the back of the class. So you have different social status, right? And then sometimes when you're trying to fit in those social statuses, you're not doing well, you're not doing the shit, right? And so that your self-esteem, the boundaries start dropping and dropping. And then you have emotional use. So what is emotional use to you? What does that mean, emotional use?
Exploiting a person's insecurities.
Yes, exploiting somebody's insecurities. So I will tell you something which is really, you're probably silly. So I have really, I have really small hands. And I'm going to say you're probably like, no, but you can't see them. But some of you are doing it. And I was at a track meet, and one of my friends was coming to me, they were laughing. They were like, oh, I was trying to figure out who that was. And they're like, oh, look at your ankles, and I knew that was you. And I was like, oh, no. You know, my self-esteem just went down, because that's something I'm insecure about. But that's not something that knew I was insecure about. Does that make sense? So it can be the smallest things. And Sometimes insecurity, some people don't know. So don't take it like, oh, they're trying to be mean to me. But sometimes if it's over and over and over and you tell them, but they still do it, now that's crossing a boundary. Because you told them, like, hey, don't talk about my ankles, I feel very insecure about my ankles. But if they keep doing it, they're like, they cross that boundary because you told them. So, yes, emotional abuse. So, incidents. It can be your hair, it can be the way you dress, it can be anything. It can be your grades. Maybe you're insecure about your grades. And maybe your report card is laying on the table and so you gotta see. I don't know. You know, so it can be different things. So that's kind of emotional abuse and making somebody feel guilty. Then isolation. So you all know what isolation is, right? When you go to yourself, blah, blah, blah. But also, controlling relationship is somebody keeping you from others. So when it comes to friendships, if you're hanging out with your friends and somebody else just trying to join your friend group, maybe somebody new to your school. And they're like, don't hang out with a person because of the way they built or they're from, I don't know, Minnesota or something like that. They're isolating that person now, right? So that's controlling. Or people don't let your people are not letting you hang out with them. They're separating from you, so they're isolating you from their group as well. So it happens in different ways. So that's controlling in relationships, okay? But then you have the positive side, non-controlling, or being equal, so equality. Respect. So respecting yourself and respecting others, okay? In a healthy relationship, okay? It goes two ways, okay? So trust. Trust goes one way. Trusting each other, okay? So I hope y'all trust your friends, right? So that's a healthy relationship because if you don't trust each other, it's not the best relationship. You have to trust each other. Being responsible. So in the sense of responsibility, having each other's back. When you think about, if you think about your best friend, we think about like, man, he or she has my back. Okay? So, and then being fair, being equal. Okay? Being equal. Sharing decisions together. Sharing choices. Okay? So making decisions together. So if I'm Shaylin's best friend, I'm not gonna feel like I'm not gonna tell her what to do. I'm like, hey Shaylin, what do you think about this? What do you think we should do? Right? So if I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do on the weekend, I'm not gonna be like, hey Shaylin, you're going to the movies with me, we're going out to eat after that, and what if Shaylin doesn't want to do that? Right? So we're gonna make decisions together. That's fair. And then you think about positive interactions, right? Physical and verbal interactions is positive and being respectful. So I'm going to appreciate some. I might be like, hey, Shayla, I really like your mask. Or hey, Bill, oh, cool chucks. Those are awesome, right? So giving each other great feedback or positive interaction. You're not going to down somebody like, oh, girl, what type of mask is that? No, we're not going to do that. Or, your chucks. Chucks are so not cool. No, they are really cool. Those are not, you're not going to do that. Like, because you're that person's friend. You're in a positive relationship, in a healthy relationship, you're there to build each other up, not tear each other down. So, picking each other up. So, if my best friend is Miss Sarah, and she's feeling down, I'm not going to get down with her. I'm going to bring her spirit up. Maybe find something that she likes. Maybe she loves to read a certain book. Maybe I'll go out and buy her a book. Or maybe it's not even buying something. Maybe it's just Sarah can have a conversation with me. And she just needs a listening ear. So getting each other, building each other up. And then honesty. Being honest with each other. So sometimes as humans, we do stuff like we're ashamed of, right? I'm like, ooh, I can tell my best friend I did this, right? So that's when trust comes in, too. So my friend is failing, and maybe I brought her shoes and got them already, and she's like, hey, when somebody brought my shoes, it was my little sister. I don't know. It's my brother. Somebody brought my shoes, right? And I'm watching her like dig into her siblings. I might be honest, like, it was me that actually who got me hurt. Let's be honest. Okay? And then Shelly's gonna, what? Probably trust me from there. Or Miss Sarah might trust me because I was honest. Or Wilbur might trust me because I was honest. Okay? So that's the thing about healthy relationships. So now we're going to talk about, I know I'm doing a lot of talking. Well, sorry. So next we're going to talk about signs. That's the biggest thing. So we talked about some words that are included with healthy and unhealthy relationships. But what are some signs? What are some warning signs of an unhealthy relationship? Okay? What do you think a warning sign might be? Anybody? It's kind of like a red flag. Like, that don't seem like, that person seems weak. I'll give you one. I'll give you one example. So you look like you do. Okay. So being overly jealous. Being overly jealous. So sometimes you might have a friend or you're in a relationship and the person's like, he's hanging out with you. Don't hang out with him. Really? Oh, you should hang out with me all the time. So that's being overly jealous. There's different things too. That was just one example. Anybody give any other signs?
Getting upset with people over their insecurities or like exploiting your insecurities.
Yes. So exploiting your insecurities, or can you talk about their own insecurities, right? So that's a big one here. Any others?
Like yelling or, getting really angry whenever you guys have a disagreement.
Yes, yelling or getting angry, right? When you have a disagreement. And it's just not just once, it's multiple times. And sometimes, we're human beings and we get upset. And sometimes you kind of have to reflect and draw back. Like that person can draw back, it's kind of like penguin, pull down. But then sometimes if it's consecutive, you get an argument, but then it kind of blows up or it turns into yelling a lot. That's a warning sign. And that's a warning sign that it's probably going to get worse from there. If it's happening a lot. Not just once, happening a lot. Checking on you constantly. And sometimes, of course, I'm going to check on my best friend. I'm going to check on my siblings. I'm going to check on my family member. Because I want to make sure they're okay, right? But sometimes there's a line that's lost when they're constantly checking on you. And sometimes checking on you, you might be like, ding, 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 ding. Maybe you keep getting like 50 million text messages. Where are you? You okay? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? You're answering. Like constantly, over and over and over again, constantly checking. Or demanding constant contact. So in the flip end, it's kind of like, I need you to call and text me at 2 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, at 6 o'clock. If you don't, this is gonna happen. Or if you don't, I'm gonna call you. So kind of like you're doing like timestamps on people, that happens. Of course, your parents are gonna check on you, and they're gonna be like, when you get to school, call me. You should be those like 8 o'clock, because they wanna make sure you're okay, right? But sometimes like friendships or relationships, if they're telling you need to call in at 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and it's constant, then it's kind of like a red flag. Getting, like Miss Sarah said, getting overly upset, right? Blowing things out of proportion. And it can be over like the smallest things. And it could be because You didn't call them at 8 o'clock. And they might be really mad at you because you didn't call them at 8 o'clock, okay? Insulting or putting someone down. I know Brooklyn kind of mentioned that a little bit. Insulting someone and putting someone down constantly, okay? Threatening. Maybe threatening to end like your friendship. Like, hey, if you don't do this, Miss Sarah, I'm not your friend anymore. Right? So that could be it. Not only yelling, physical, throwing things, maybe hitting the wall or explosive anger. That's another thing. Then this is the word gossiping. Secrets. I don't know secrets, but secrets. And not only like people telling your secrets, but I add pressure on you to keep your secrets when you need to tell someone, but and doing it in a way that's demanding too. So you don't keep my secrets, I'm gonna get mad at you, or you didn't keep my secrets, they get a wall, something. So keeping secrets. So on the other side, healthy relationships, okay, you have, And then the other side, on the other side, the person that is, so this is the person, before was the person that is actually the controlling person, but this is, now we're talking about the person that's on the other end. The person that's getting, I don't say like attacked, but feeling attacked, verbally or physically, different things like that. So you're always worried. You feel worried all the time. That person might feel worried all the time. Because you don't want to make that person upset or mad, right? You might be giving up friendships for other friendships. So, and that might sound silly, but if you've been friends with somebody for 10 years and you meet somebody else, then you're like, you have to give up that friendship because I was your friend first. Okay? So that's being identity controlling, but you don't want to give up the friendship. So you feel like you have to give up your friendships. So you might be making constant excuses now, making excuses. Or sometimes you might feel withdrawn or isolated. And so if God does have that, you feel like you need help, this is what you need to do to tell us what. A trusted adult, right? A trusted adult might be somebody, it could be a parent, it could be a guardian, it could be a sister, a cousin, okay? So that. But then healthy relationships, we mentioned, you feel a sense of worth. You feel a sense of confidence. You're happy to be around a person. You're laughing, giggling. Like I mentioned, you build each other up. You build yourself up. You try to invite other people in. So instead of being like, no, you don't like, no, like, hey, Shay was one of your friends. So you inviting people in, you welcoming people in. Anything else you all can think of? When it comes to healthy relationships?
Say you have a balance, like both people are taking but also giving back.
Yes. So, yes, a balance. So, not always taking but giving back. Yes. You give back to each other or give back to others. Yes. I love that. I actually love that one. So, yes, any more about a healthy relationship?
Like a healthy relationship, when you're with that person, they help make you a better person.
Yes, help make you.
Destiny.
Yes, help make you a better person. Very much so. You kind of know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses, the person can tell you how to strengthen your weaknesses in a way, and how to build on your strengths. Okay? And then coming to a compromise. So if before it gets to a heated discussion or anything, you come to a compromise. Like, okay, you gotta stop and really think about this, okay? The person allowing you to be unique in the sense, owning up to your individuality, not changing, not trying to change you, right? So my husband would be like, you need to go put me in. Or you should go braids, right? He's gonna be like, hey, I like your braids, but have you ever tried this, right? So kind of the way you tell someone, having good communication, communicating very well with each other, okay? And having anger control. How to, before it gets to the heated discussion, knowing how to control the anger before it gets there. Maybe taking a step back and pull it off before it gets to that level of really getting mad and exchanging words. Because once you exchange words, you can't do it. You can't take it back. You can't take back words. And it's going to be a lasting imprint on that person's mind. Like, they said this about me, it must be true because they said it. So that type of thing. Problem solving. So solving good problems. Having an understanding with each other. And of course, number one that Brooklyn said at the very, 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 very beginning, confidence. Having self-confidence. And confidence in your relationships with that person. Okay? So, that is my healthy and unhealthy relationships. I know that was a whole bunch. It was a lot. It was a lot. But we didn't get to the thing, feel, and act, because that's more of an interactive activity. But just thinking about it, self-esteem, boundaries, and relationships work all together. And just thinking about how you talk to others, how you treat others will go a long way, and how others treat you. That goes a long way in building these relationships.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. Go ahead in the stream here.